Mirror, At the End of the Road by Mel Lyman. An American Avatar publication. Preface. Dear Mel, I can't seem to not write this letter to you. I have tried, but I keep ending up here in front of the typewriter. I even tried writing this letter to someone else. It must be because I read the book all the way through the completed version last night for the very first time. For me to approach the book to read it is already an awesome responsibility. I stand in awe of its greatness and purity. I can't believe it. It's full of miracles, and its greatest miracle is its reality. It really is the new Bible, born to be read and read again, inexhaustible in its capacity to teach. Sometimes I come to a passage I've read before, and I say, oh no, I can't read that one again. I couldn't stand it, but I read it and it's not what I remembered at all. It's something new each time. I want to take Mirror, At the End of the Road, and wave it in front of every face in America and shout, read this. I can't wait until it's printed so I can go and do just that. Nowhere ever has such an opportunity as this book been made available to people. I want to make sure they don't miss it. They can't afford to lose out. And I can't afford to let them. I want to go on and on. But this book is of the Spirit, and it beggars praise or criticism or personal opinion. In the past, Christian martyrs died for the Spirit and Christian crusaders killed for it. But you make the greatest sacrifice of all. You live for it, love. Wayne M. Hansen. New York City, March 14, 1971. If I could make wisping, whirling, rising, towering, cascading, spraying, gliding, smiling word strokes with my brain brush, I would paint my love for you on this paper canvas. To Judy, who made me live with a broken heart. Chapter 1. Diary of a Young Artist. December 13, 1958. Hotel room, Tacoma, Washington. I am in a state of confusion. I can't feel creativeness just bubbling up inside of me, and my means to create and my means of self-expression are so limited that it leaves me feeling like a bomb ready to explode but having no matches for the fuse. I can't hear moving musical sounds inside my head, and my harmonica just can't reproduce them. I can't hear a trumpet and a piano and a trombone and feel as though I could really write a stirring piece of music if I had the means and knowledge. I feel as though I could write beautiful poetry if I had the vocabulary. All this makes me extremely nervous. I pick up my harmonica and it's flat. So I walk around the room haunted by all these strange driving desires. All this stems from being alone, left to cope with my mixed up emotions. I can't see myself at a piano in a huge auditorium, beating and pounding the keys and bringing about a deep sad blues or classical selection with extraordinary feeling and movement. Tears running down my cheeks from the something of it all. December 28, 1958. Hotel room, Tacoma, Washington. If I thought you wouldn't understand what I am going to say, I would never try to put such feeling into words. It will sound like melodrama, but it's from the heart. This is very serious and unlike me. I understand you only too well. I understand everything you write. I understand you so well that it is almost a feeling of attachment. Like my other half, I need you more than you need me. Through you I seem to be able to express myself. The worst part about moving away was the loss of your friendship. It was something unique. This is a very strange relationship. Sometimes I wanted to say, damn, I sure like you, Bill. I miss you as much as I miss Sophie. But in a different way. I tried to tell you once, but it came out wrong. I wanted you to like everything I like. Your presence gave me a feeling of security. I wear a mask of stability, ability, indestructible, taking nothing seriously, independence, and every kind of bullshit imaginable. Sophie doesn't know this. She knows nothing about the real me. She knows my front. I go off alone and cry. That is the real me. Unstable, insecure, lonely. I want to cry when I see things lying alone on the street. At work I used to put two of the same kind of cards together in the wastebasket so neither would be lonely. I used to carefully place discarded cards in the wastebasket with a rubber band around them so they wouldn't get hurt or separated. I have a deep pity for my wife because she misses me and loves me so much. I pity everything and hate no one. I can't write anymore because too much is coming out. January 5th, 1959. Hotel room. Tacoma, Washington. Problems. Problems. Car started missing like hell last night. Just went out to look at it and it's buried in snow. It's been 28 degrees all day and snowing for 8 hours. The car is a mountain of snow. Don't have any chains. Can't move it. Hardly running anyhow. Got to go look for work. Long walk to Seattle. Damn cold. Lot of snow. Lot of problems. What would Robert Frost do in situation like this? Answer. Philosophize. Can't take much more. Slowly cracking up. Nothing going right. Working at having a nervous breakdown. Easy way out. If I didn't have this responsibility of having to find a job hanging over me, I believe I could enjoy myself immensely. If I didn't have to go out tomorrow and beg some fat lazy bastard to donate to the Lyman Fund for manual services rendered, I would go out and throw snowballs. I hate to look for a job. Why can't someone come up and plead for my services so that I wouldn't feel like such a beggar? Man, that bill is due again the 18th and I'm broke and it would take a fortune to keep me going till some idiot hires me. And I'm on my last legs and the stupid government hasn't sent me my check. And by now I owe the whole damn thing anyhow. You know what I'm planning to do? Seriously, you won't believe this. I'm thoroughly disgusted with this cycle. Work, eat, sleep, get up, work, eat, sleep, beg, work, hassle, etc. If I can't figure out what to do about Sophie and how to get along without her, I'm gonna steal me a sleeping bag, take my harmonica, and find some enjoyment on this miserable earth. I'm a goddamned outcast, and I'm tired of playing this young straight husband role. If I didn't love my wife, I'd be out on those railroad tracks right now. Maybe I can't figure out a way to make her hate me. It would make it easier for her. Man, I'm disgusted. I have a good twisted idea. You come up here, get a job and support Sophie and the kids for a few months. She'd do all the cooking. You know, just like being married except no fair going to bed with her. That would ruin it. Meanwhile, I go out and find myself. Come back all eager to face this struggle. Don't like it, huh? Think I'm sick, huh? I just hear all things in the heavens and in the earth. That's all. January 7th, 1959. Hotel room. Tacoma, Washington. It sure is fun sitting here looking out the window. Man, what a ball. Hoo boy. Directly across from my third-story room, I can see a busy office above the National Bank of Washington. Secretaries busily typing, etc. Catty corner to me, I can't see a clock above another National Bank of Washington. To the left is the Puget Sound National Bank and a neon bulb sign which constantly blinks the time and temperature. I'm really familiar with Tacoma temperature. I see it 24 hours a day usually. Now I see the Pioneer Printers lithographers and a sign that says desk. Ugly blank little people scurrying about. The grinding of gears and the belching of many chimneys. They're closing up the bank, a blonde girl with a black skirt and no face is saying nothing on a phone while she goes through all sorts of gestures and back bends. Everybody is very busy doing nothing. I wish I could hear them. I see Old Glory in the dark blue light blue infinity. The white line in the road has finally melted away the snow. Or maybe the snow melted away, leaving only a line here and there. I used to see an old man ringing a little bell, but that was many years ago. And even his bell is quiet now. A bent old lady is hiding under an umbrella, but it isn't raining. Maybe she has a sore on her mouth. Nobody talks, but they move their mouths. Maybe they are eating something. The lights are more important than the people because I see them plainly. And the cars are more important than the people because I hear them plainly. The people are all extras in this play and are blurry. The hero is a bus, and the heroine is a neon sign. I shall write a poem called, On Looking at the Lights and Listening to the Traffic and Catching Sight of Blurry Little People from a third-story room with the window down. January 9th, 1959. Hotel room, Tacoma, Washington. On departing, goodbye radiator with your hiss. Farewell ugly sky. All of you I shall miss. I don't know why. I want to leave. Today I'm leaving. I shall maybe never return. What have I gained? What have I found here but misery? Why do I hate to leave? I shall miss my hot plate and army rations. I hope the next tenant is good to all my friends. The sink, the bed, the table, they have never wronged me. I have nothing against them. They didn't add to my misery. On the table I ate and wrote letters, and the sink I washed and prepared food. On the bed I slept and found warmth and peace. In the chairs I rested and smoked. They were good to me. I will tell them all goodbye and wish them luck. I know they will understand that I have to leave. They have served me faithfully. They will miss me and remember me. I have treated them well. At times I have scorned them. But I know they understand. Ah, I hear the faithful clanking of my radiator. It is preparing to drive away the chill. It desires to comfort me. Many are the times I have absorbed its warmth. I shall miss my friends. The seagulls who came to my window in the heights of my despair and shared my meager crumbs. I have been glad to share with them. I feel for all these things, for they are unmercifully treated by mortals, and have no cause to be so. They do their best. I have entertained them with music. I have fed them with gratitude. I have soothed them with poetry. How can they ever forget? January 15th, 1959. Portland, Oregon. I have a disease. It burns my insides out. It devours my intestines. It expands in my skull and bursts my eardrums and gnaws on my screaming nerve ends. I smoke heavily and blow the disease out of my lungs. I make song and force the disease from my soul. I compose poetry and drive the disease from my brain. I recite beautiful verses and crush the disease with the weight of my heart. Still I am disease-ridden. You say I am a sick boy? There is no salvation. I am destined to be destroyed, or be proclaimed. This disease has been in incubation for 20 years. Now it is malignant. Am I an artist or a clod? Am I a genius or a fool? Why am I growing this way? Is it noticeable? Am I becoming more intellectual, or am I just growing less aware of everything else except intellectual ability? I want to go, and I want to stay. I want to work, and I want to play. I want to sing, and I want to cry. I love life, and I want to die. This poem is demonstrative of a 5-year-old's ability, yet it truthfully reflects my thoughts. I am truly not a poet, not a musician. I am nothing I would like to be, everything I don't want to be. January 27th, 1959. Diner, Portland, Oregon. A film of grease, paint spots and reflection. The window is oblique. 8 red leather seats perched atop silver columns, all looking in different directions. If they were occupied, they would all be facing in the same direction. They were designed for occupants, but it is very late. Human chair fillers do not perch atop stools at this hour. They fill beds. The mass arises at the time that they should arise. Night bed fillers become morning seat fillers. The morning seat fillers become morning street fillers. The morning street fillers become seat fillers. Why? Because that is the way of the group. Do not ask why. Do as the group. Mass ignorance is the only way to mass survival. The jukebox is singing a song. It sings and eats money and no one listens. Put your hard-earned quarters in the hole. Push a button. I hope it isn't too loud. I want to talk above it. It is hungry, so I will fill its mouth and put it to bed. Coffee, please. If I had somewhere to go, I would go there. They open their mouths and move their lips and make noises and think about other things. They put brown water in their holes. They make noises in an effort to disguise the holes that their brain wants to think about. March 8, 1959. Portland, Oregon. I sit here looking at the kids playing outside and I want to join them. I like to play too. I hate the way I'm forced to be an adult. They don't know how much fun they're really having out there. But they'll know in about 10 years and they'll miss it. I wish I was 17 and back in San Diego and Sophie was 15 and I was making a play for her and she was madly in love with me and silly about it, and I used to take her for rides in my old 37 Chevy that had no door. I didn't owe any money and I didn't have any responsibilities, and all I did was drink and wine and make love to Sophie and go home and jack off. Why couldn't it just stay like that? Why is this world so angry at its inhabitants? Why must we abide by laws? and do what our boss tells us and work our lives away. October 24th, 1959. Vicksburg, Mississippi. Bill and I had a long discussion this morning, and he brought out some very pertinent discoveries about myself. It made me think a lot about yours and my conversation Friday morning concerning love and giving freely of oneself. I'm in a very reflective mood and am deeply disturbed by this inhuman element running through me. Let me explain. Friday night, when you were laying on the floor vomiting, I was playing the harmonica and singing, and was unmoved by your discomfort. You told me that I was too busy learning to be a musician to have time to love a man. Now here is the problem. I seem to be incapable of feeling pity for human suffering, and don't want people to feel pity for mine. Yet, sometimes I want someone to feel it for me, and if they do, it tends to revolt me. Then my defense is something like, why should I feel sorry for him when he got himself into this mess? And if I'd have done the same thing, I certainly wouldn't want him feeling sorry for me. Yet I still have a very strong feeling for many people. I think in a way it's a cover-up for actually being ashamed to show a lot of emotion. And I can't kind of escape the whole mess by playing my harmonica or banjo, and release my mixed up feelings about the situation in one big gush. This seems to be a dangerous attitude, and a popular attitude. This doing something completely in contrast to your deep feelings in order to avoid embarrassment. I mean, how can anyone ever open themselves up and be real when they're ashamed to be real? November 1959. St. Christopher's Inn, Garrison, New York, nighttime. I am very, very lonely and sick with want of you, and sad with what tomorrow won't bring, and afraid of what my dreams will bring. For you fade and disappear when the dawn stabs me with reality, and I am once more alone. Yet I look forward to my dreams of you, and I lay down early to quicken your resurrection, and lengthen your company, and it reminds me of these lines, my dreams at night brought happiness. My dreams brought me a life of bliss, but I awoke, and found at dawn my love still gone. Sunday. Arose at 6 a.m., ate breakfast at 7:30. It is now 9:30, and very cold outside. Some say it may snow. I am sitting in the library here in the Mission. We have a library, television, games, and all. But I don't participate in any of the activities. I don't talk to anybody and never smile, and I'm not very well liked. I hide down by the showers and play my banjo. And if anyone comes in, I stop. This is a very nice place. Clean, warm, 3 good meals a day. And I don't like it. I prefer the filthy, smelly, crowded Missions in the Bowery. I shall be going back that way tomorrow to my crummy friends. November 1959. St. Christopher's Inn, Garrison, New York. I knew when I left Portland that you disapproved of my leaving my family and burdening you, and this has caused me a good deal of discomfort throughout the past 2 months. Your close friendship and my folk music and Bill's friendship, my family's feelings all make up the most important parts of my life. And I need these things. After all, what is a person but the things he needs, and the things he has, and the things which occur every day of his life? No one is whole alone, and we all must learn to live together and squeeze as much happiness out of life and life's tragedies as we can every day of our lives. No man is an island. I believe I could survive and still maintain a good outlook regardless of the tragic events which might befall me and my loved ones and close friends. By retaining this faith I have acquired in man and myself. Some people place their faith in God, but I place mine in man and brotherhood and myself, and who can't say what the difference is and where the truth lies. I want my wife and children to be happy and love me, and I want my friends to want my friendship, and I mean to do everything I can to preserve this once I've accomplished it. I have been extremely selfish, and for once I want to give of myself. Can you understand all this? I'm trying to say that I've found a way of life, and peace of mind, and mean to keep it and share it. Folk music is as much, if not more so, a part of me now as it has ever been. It's in a way a reminder of real life, and what can be if one isn't disillusioned and twisted by this pretentious balsa wood society. It's amazing how much agony and pain and humiliation one can endure, and come out smiling when he knows he's on the right track. I've been starving, numb, cold-ass, leapy, spit at, and sick, and I have managed to laugh at it all and say, What's this all got to do with me? These things can't harm me, or even begin to penetrate my body. My understanding is a warm fire deep inside of me that no words or physical punishments can put out. Summer 1960, 514th, 1/2 22nd Avenue, So. Minneapolis. I sit here looking so cool and calm. And blowing smoke rings when actually I'm so frantic my big guts are eating up my little guts. And I want to go raving mad and scream and tear my hair and shit on the floor. And rub my face in it and jack off on the wall and rub my hair in it and tear off my leg and suck the bloody stump and flop around like a fish out of water and fuck myself into a coma and twist myself into a knot and spin around the world. But why will you say that I am mad? December 11th, 1960, Portland, Oregon. I'm working in the store. It's raining. Albert Schweitzer says this is the beginning of the end of civilization. And one cannot be anti-war gung-ho peace unless one is anti-nuclear weapons. And I second him. I want to die in the southern Appalachian Mountains with my family. Under the trees, and not in a teeming mass of crazed hysterical people in a city starving and screaming, and running with the mob in a city with sirens, and civil defense, and it's such an unwholesome way to have to die. Which is the final thing, and so less disgusting to not see the effects of fear, and death on the insecure minds, and bodies of the city-dwelling bourgeois, and the brutality and struggle for self-preservation in a jungle of snarling, biting, screaming, gray flannel suits and high heels, and automobiles. I want to put my arms around my wife, and lay down, and close my eyes and to have lived and to have died a human being. Which is the only way and the right way. And should and if only it could have been for all. Summer 1961. North Carolina. At the end of a long haul. Hard traveling. Dust storms. Hot deserts. Sandstorms. Tornadoes. Rain sleet. Hot feet, tired eyes, tired miles, hot tires, hard mountains, flat tires, heavy loads, hot motors, the Jodes, empty bellies, cussin' and swearin', cops, hard flops, non-stops, crying and wailing and driving and sailing, flying, dragging, asshole shagging, made it dead broke on an empty stomach, pregnant wife, and 2 hungry little kids. August 6, 1961. North Carolina. I skinned today's groundhog. Sat on the porch and drank my coffee and took my evening think and relaxed with my evening smoke and then came in as it was finally dark. Lit the kerosene lamp and thought of you. Life is magnificent. And God is good. And I am ignorant to an inconceivable degree. And anxious to learn and absorb and suck in and smell it all and roll around in it a little. And stick my hands and face in the bloody guts and lay down on the earth, and feel the dampness on my back, and embrace the sun, and know and give thanks that it is so good, and let my limbs relax, and sink down and smile. I am sure that the ability to appreciate the simplest beauties and pleasures of life, and nature and God is the full and peaceful life. Today it rained on my back and it was cold, and wet and it felt good. I am relaxed. September 1961. North Carolina. We're staying with a family way high. On top of a mountain. And I'm doing farm work for 50 cents an hour plus free room, and board for Mel and family. This is a very good deal financially, as I can't save every penny I earn. But the asthma bit is beginning to cause trouble, and I'm starting to get mean, and fighting to hold back my tongue, and daydreaming about freight trains. And wishing I didn't have a family to support, and beginning to believe that I was never meant to be a provider, and hard laborer, and father, alone. I don't have to put up with horse shit, and threaten my health just to feed a few people. If I were alone I might even afford a doctor and a dentist, instead of dying at the age of 25 of asthma, and lung cancer, and rotten teeth, leaving 3 chubby little brats and a fat wife to sell my banjo. Goddamn, I get so goddamn mean from this asthma. I hate even the ones I love most. Last night I dreamt I returned to the tab room at the VA to see why I had quit. And everybody was doing their little jobs and nobody looked like they were working too hard. And everybody looked a little foolish, fucking around with those machines. But it began to look pretty good when all of a sudden somebody screamed. It's 20 seconds to 12. Run! And before I knew it, the place was empty, and big iron doors crashed, and clanged and slid up into hiding places in walls and ceilings. And by 12:30 everybody was back working feverishly. One of the tab operators explained to me that it was a new development just recently installed by the government to make sure that every employee took only 30 minutes for lunch, and not a second more. And to ensure that nothing could be stolen, such as a 407 during lunch period. And I tried to tell him, didn't he know all this was bad for his mind efficiency and so on. It was a long dream, and I had a lot of arguments, and anywho what it all means is that I ain't no good. And I'm a misfit and don't really belong anywhere. And can't hold any kind of job, and should be on welfare. Actually, I hate and despise to the depths of my black soul every cruddy wage earning method. And I believe earning wages is immoral. And sacrificing blood and sweat and the fruits of thy labor for some son of a bitch and exploiting in slavery. And whips and fat old hairy preachers picking their peckers, and fucking their dogs, and fat sweat under the arms smiling businessmen. Executives with bloody dried shit in the crack of their ass always smiling, and shaking hands. I'm sorry, Mr. Lyman, or we don't have a thing right now. But I'm sure if. And fuck you, shit-eating turdsucker. And I wouldn't take your hog-slopping job if you put hair around it, and smile, you son of a bitch, and go to hell. Fuck money. God damn, it isn't worth it. Reasons for leaving last place of employment. My employer found me eating his daughter on top of an 082 sorter running at 322 half IPS, and I crammed his Peter in the time clock, and shoved a hot wire up his ass, and chopped up the whole building with a tobacco knife. Love and kisses. Fall 1961, North Carolina. Dear Sir, I understand Kirplop is wanting to hire an intestinal bowel movement copulation tadpole eater turdpole beater with 6 years of experience. I used to copulate for the veterinarian's menstruation in Fartland, and would desire to apply that position. I have shit years of machine experiments, and can copulate a 69 at 100 turds per second. Wire a P-chunk to masturbate, and pro-raid, and detail print, and block sword, and cocksuck. I hope this is an adequate defecation of the prestation you have in mind. If you hire me, it will sodomy fine. Penis don't fail to nullify me if you cunt desi phone my shit and crotching. If you will wreck my creputation, you will be aware of my sincere intestines. I can't handle any detail from the simplest to the most testicle. October 1961, North Carolina. It is October and there is a chill in the air, and the leaves are beautiful. And everywhere there is a fragrance that can only be autumn. And there are wood fires and warmth and shelter where loneliness and longing for other Octobers and faraway places and faces are beheld. Where all Octobers are but one and all and everywhere present. And there lurks a beckoning to go back to the Octobers of my childhood. And the Octobers I want to share with others. And to open eyes and ears to the splendor of autumn and October. And running in cold winds with watering eyes and cold feet. And awareness where all might come and hold hands, and rejoice for the beauty of October, and the fire of life, and the infinite powers of the soul to embrace beauty. Late fall 1961, North Carolina. You know, I've been sitting here tearing off frantic, exhilarating letters to people, and finally wore myself out, and sang all the good Woody songs, and got sad and sadder, and now I really feel bad. I hardly ever let myself think of Woody anymore. And never play his records, and seldom sing his songs or look at his book. And this is really the wrong approach. But damn it, I can't hardly stand thinking about him dying a helpless twitching pile of nerves in a locked room in some sanitarium in New York. I would take his hand and say, Woody, I love you, and put him on a freight train and sing to him, and cry for him, and get him drunk, and see him die in his world, and bury him in a little dust pile in Oklahoma. I can't ever forget the time he struggled up from his chair, and said he was going to hop a freight train, and go to the West Coast again. And I knew he'd never again see the West Coast. And he said that Sonny was old and blind, and he still got around good. So why couldn't he go too? I still dream over and over that Woody is well again and raising hell. And it's just too damn sad. I don't even want to write any more about it. I feel so damn helpless. November 13th, 1961, North Carolina. Today I shit my pants. Today is my 5th wedding anniversary and I presented my wife with a pair of green slimy runny shitty pants. I have the flu. Nick has it too. We got it from Obrey. We couldn't work today, and probably can't for the next few days. I suffer. I also have asthma, the row up, and a Charlie horse and a boil on my back. I eat poached eggs and shit green. I read Tropic of Cancer and vomit. Don't you feel sorry for me? Nick has just come over to get a pail of water. I shall inquire about his health. He says he hurts up his asshole. About a dick length. Let me describe my shit which I encountered a few minutes ago in the crotch of my panties. It was the consistency of runny mustard, with a mucus-like string of gunk interwoven, and scattered charming chunks of brown shit all set off in a delightful pea soup green base. I can't describe it quite accurately as I was forced to stare at it for 15 minutes. It's midnight and I can't sleep. Had the same trouble last night. I lay awake almost all night thinking thoughts, and wanting to talk all right or say something, and finally, out of a feeling of family responsibility, this smothers me. I slept. Well, fuck it all to hell. Tonight I'm gonna clear my mind. Fuck work tomorrow. I am what I am though we all may starve, and I'm not gonna starve no matter what I do. Because I'm too damn smart. It's partially my clear and healthier whatnot and a grand fortification via Miller. Nobody ever told me what I now know to be real, and I never read it until air-conditioned nightmare. And damn it, now I know I'm right, and that's a good feeling because no regrets and no guilt, especially from here on my art. And I know I'm capable of producing art. Won't have to suffer because of any leftover feelings about failure in the cotton mill scurry to breed tubercular lungs, and by ranch-style houses, and kiss asses, and piss in enamel shit bowls. I don't mean art in music or writing or drawing, but in living, and playing and writing and eating, and fucking. The goddamn bastards. Right in the height of one of our starvation poverty hungry babies periods, I was offered a good job at a progressive hospital plan fringe benefit big parking lot exotic blah secretary palm trees and pots in reception room. Producing do-gooding motherfucking electronic producing plant factory. And I drove up in my middle-class automobile and shook wilting dripping manicured money clutching ass wiping hands and exchanging tolerant phony smiles. Fuck the shit eating fart laying burping bastards. I passed high caliber aptitude schmaptitude exams and intelligence. Manual dexterity meter made. And oh yes we need a man of your high caliber. And fuck him I never went back. They need a 38 caliber up their bleeding overworked runny assholes. So I didn't take the job. I went home and looked at my underfed suffering family and said, what the fuck am I supposed to do? And everybody said why how can you turn down such a marvelous opportunity? And you know what they said. Everybody but Obrey, and he understood because he's a fucking lunatic himself. So we're still underfed and suffering, and I learned a new song on the harmonica. America is no place for the artist. Jesus, what an understatement. But sometimes I wonder. Miller was never more of an artist than when he was in America, and he never came on so strong. I'm shaking. Every day. Every minute of the day I see and hear, and feel things and I know and try and tell everybody in goddamn blank walls, and telling me about God, and watching their fucking quiz programs, and smiling reverently. By God I'll starve out of spite. The only thing I can do that is write is live my own way and I refuse to work at something I don't believe in for money. And if I ever do anything at all I may grow little cane, and make good molasses. Because it tastes good and is good. And the shit they make commercially is fucking tar. So they're making WIPO. And as for peace, security shit. There's only one peace, and that's peace in your heart. Peace with yourself. And the only security lies in the mind. And it comes from peace and I'm supposed to defend democracy. Horse shit. And kill some poor Cuban farmer. Shit. You know all this as well as I do. It's not news. I've just got to write it down so I won't have to scream and tear my hair. Why doesn't everybody know it? So let's take a petition to Kennedy. What a wild dream. I could never write it all down. What I was petitioning for. Love? How corny. Today I saw an old man over 80 paralyzed from a stroke who saved and invested and married in his 70s when he was too old to fuck. He owns almost all of Madison County and has lost track of how many farms and businesses he owns. And he's dying, and his two nephews who are lawyers will get it all. I can't even afford, or never will, an acre of dirt to grow a little food on. What kind of shit is this? I talk to people and try and tell them they're fucking up and selling their souls, and they put their fingers up their asses and go on about their business. Crushing. Fucking defeated. A whole gooey syrupy mass heavy and covering me. And I'm trying to swim upstream and mouth squeaking help. And bombs drowning me out. And floods of meaningless goo. Tidal waves rushing headlong downstream. And does it matter? It's got to matter. It must matter because I know it matters. November 16th, 1961. North Carolina. Couldn't sleep last night. I went to bed again at 2 a.m. and tossed until 7:30. Had nightmares and pains in my stomach. I was in a crowded transportation area, like a New York subway station, and I was lost and following the crowd. And then a line of army-clad ghouls came driving everyone with pitchforks and guns and herding us all into a hallway, prodding us and bellowing, "Get in there and fight for your country, you stinking bastards." And there was no way out. And they were carrying peace signs and driving us, and we passed through some sort of inspection post. And I felt a hand on my wallet, and I looked down and all my money was gone. And I was pushed towards a flight of stairs, all alone, as the rest were marched on. A ghoul sneered, "Get out of here, you had enough money." And as I walked away, I looked back, and the whole line of forced marchers had all gone hollow-eyed and expressionless and defenseless. And just as though resigned to whatever fate awaited them, stumbled along like a chain gang. No protest whatsoever. Not even any protests about my getting loose. I had a bad night. I'm very depressed today. Having a song in me. Later. Just chopped some cook stove wood. Got so nervous I couldn't hold the axe. So I'm drinking a little blackberry wine to calm my nerves. Funny how things have a way of upsetting me. Tomorrow I'll be as carefree and irresponsible as ever. But today I am destined to carry the burden of guilt and shame for my people and their selfish ways. Bob Haven is back in prison, and Ruby tried to kill her mother and herself with a kitchen knife. Why? These are beautiful people. And though you may not have seen it, it is true. They tried to squeeze too much life, too much exhilarating living into their moments of freedom. They loved too hard for the years of love they were denied. They lived too hard. They take dope to live a year of utopia in an hour. They need money to live their frantic way. And they steal from the ones who stole their lives and their souls. They steal honestly and straightforward, and are punished. They steal from the thieves who steal behind your backs, and indirectly and are rewarded. It causes me to cry. God, I have a greater love for the unloved than I can stand. December 14th, 1961. North Carolina. You know what I really want to do? I want to travel and sing to people and warm their hearts and make them cry and laugh, and want to give of themselves. I want to be alone and contemplate in solitude, and be with myself and look at myself, and watch the towns roll by and cry alone for the beauty that is. And I want to talk to all kinds of people and show them how beautiful things are and things can be. And I want more than anything to be able to stand unashamed and weep for the things I love and the things I hate. And I don't want to ever hurt anybody by my actions. I've got to see a town go by from a moving freight car. I've got to feel cold and lonely. I have to be alone and my own master. Everything that guides me threatens my wife's security. God, if only she could understand. If only she could realize what it means to me and what it does for me. If only she could appreciate a person seeking his soul. I have to write my own Bible in order to know how to live, and how things were meant to be and what is good. The existent Bible doesn't answer my questions. I have to write my own Bible in my mind, and I have to write it through experience. I'm uneasy again. I haven't found peace, but I'm closer. I wonder if I'll ever have peace, and not have a desire to travel periodically. Maybe my peace includes traveling. Maybe I'm a preacher who has a Bible but still has to talk about it. I am a man of constant sorrow. I've seen trouble all my days. I'm leaving on that train tomorrow, bound to change my evil ways. I am a man of constant sorrow, a troubled heart and a worried mind. I've got to ride that lonesome railroad, got to leave it all behind. I'm going to leave my wife and family, got to leave my only home. I'm going away. I've got to travel. Born to ramble. Born to roam. I'm going away. I'm going to leave you. But I'm coming back again. I'm bound to ride that northbound railway. And perhaps die on that train. December 17th, 1961. North Carolina. Good morning, beautiful world. Trees, grass, water, and all the fine people who seem to so graciously flow and drift with the current. Of falls changing into winters, and days into nights. I salute you, good people, for your tolerance and love, for your abilities and courage, for your hopes and your dreams. Only that I could be one of you. I should burst forth, and bud and blossom. Only that I could be one of you. I should float ever so peacefully earthward, and lie dozing amongst my brothers, having known my course, and having revealed my blossom, having given of my pollen, and having in my final rest, only good memories. Let me then make room for more. December 30th, 1961. North Carolina. I feel alone in this big world. Everyone is full of hate. I'm disgusted with myself for catching it or causing it or at least furthering it. I want to go home. But I have no home. Nick's leaving and the world is changing. Please don't anybody ever hate anybody anymore. It makes me cry. God, why? Can't I have the strength to live and be what I believe in? Hold still. God, how can I put up with changing? Don't anybody come or go. Let's have one moment of supreme joy. Everybody. And then let me die. Who do you love? Why do you feel pain and sorrow? The creek is singing, and there are multitudes of faces swimming in my mind and decisions and questions. Who am I? How did I get here? Just give me a chance and I can dream up ugliness and hate, and regret it, and have grief and sorrow. Don't hurt inside. It eats my guts up. Don't have problems. Give them to me so you can jump and sing and dance. I'll take your problems and lost destroyed dreams, and hold them for you while you play, and I'll eat them so you can't get them back. Your play will digest and eliminate the problems I'm eating, and then someday I can join you. Of course I want to play too. I am a waiter. I can't wait because I'm not sure what I'm waiting for. I am sorry I failed. I have tried to swallow your offerings, but I got a lump in my throat and can only spit and cough. The sun will still come up and go down, and there will be wood to split and money to earn, and we must continue to go to the bathroom whether we ever learn how to shit or not. Yes, I'll come with you or go with you and breathe regularly. I am a rock which no amount of hammer can destroy. Only your falling and failing trickles of liquid hope and despair penetrate my toughness. God, no. Don't stop dreaming. Don't ever do that. February 1962. North Carolina. Life has got to be vital. God, I feel stagnated. I want to love every girl I have ever loved. I want to embrace all the men and boys I have ever had a feeling for in my heart. Country boy in the city. City boy in the country. Fuck you who criticize and judge me. Suck it. Up your ass. If I feel stagnated, I'll run and tear and scream. God, yes. Loves of the past. Where are you now, Cherry Ann? Marie. Deborah. Barbara. Fuck you. I love everybody. Even Wade Hugh, you slimy fish. Yes, I can love you too, you shivering devil dodging fat ass turd squeezer once you're a memory. And a laugh. Goddamn. It's living time. Every day. Let's make it all count. Let's get drunk and scream, and fuck and destroy, and shoot dope, and go to prison, and not forget or regret. But do it now and don't put it down. Today. Yes, now. Every second a treasure. Every minute an embrace. Every face and move a fortune. And what so I live in the past. Fuck you all. Suck it. I live now and yesterday and tomorrow. And don't give a shit, and I'll keep moving and grooving. Goddammit, where's the whiskey? The road. Yes, partly. Keep moving. Keep breaking barriers and screaming what hurts and what feels good, and fuck my wife and steal my banjo and curse me and threaten me and sentence me and fuck you. I'm Mel Lyman. Fuck up. I'm still here and shitting on your clean sheets and spitting on your hungry streets and unchanged. Goddammit, try to change me or lead me or guide me. Fuck you. I want to be and live. Stagnate your ass. Goddamn frosting filled pastry ass cream puffing cookie sucking finger lickers. Suck my cock, and I'll laugh and piss in your mouth. I'm gonna go. Yes, fuck you. Maybe San Francisco. You think I give a shit about your dope laws? I shoot dope up my ass and spit paintings in your eye. Kiss it. Go to hell. Yes, my world is. And I'm going to find it and not avoid it and beware of it. Snot up your ass. I love them all, and they love me. And I am not just a little but all me fuck up or fuck down. Call me a fuck up. I'll steal your goddamn chickens, and eat your daughter in Sunday school, and you'll be fucked up a lot worse than me, so who's hurting? Grunt, and groan motherfucker. For I'm a rusty nail up your rectum, and I'll poison and infect, and eat away, but brother, I'm still a rusty nail, and you're a puss-ass bleeding stinging hard-shitting poached egg. March 1962, 414 E 10th Street, Newark. Walking the streets wet and slick brown cigarettes unread reread newspapers. Boxes. Decaying lettuce. Subways alone night or day re-singing old themes. Visions marijuana hashish dreams. Wishing I was home. I bought a candy bar and thought of you. The wind blew and I thought of you. Where is Bruce with hishishish and fruitcake? Washed out stringroy women with dirty knees and foul smells. Tired and disgusted. They know it all and it is all, and will be whole for them. Sex must still exist. But so does sludge and cinders blow into my eyes while old buildings fall and new buildings are born to die. Stay high and it looks good. The artists must paint here, so they paint each other and buy and sell within their own, and music is stagnant. I still like to shit. I want to let my hair grow wild and put a hose up my ass. And put the end up my nose, and lay on woman's lavatory floors nude with my legs spread and my tongue out, and lick pissy pussies, and open my navel and consume turds. I am a grunch. I consume all. Let me work. New York in the summertime. Sometimes. Always here. The cheeks of my ass stink and get soaked and rubbed together when I walk. And squeak. My dick smells like greasy dandruff gobs. And sticks to the side of my leg. And fuses there and grows there. And becomes attached. And the skin pulls off the head and pus drips out the hole. My nuts bubble and pull hairs and sprout lindy snot spouts. And crud falls into my shoes and my toenails curl over and bend backwards. And as I reel around, the crotch skin between my toes rots away and bleeds. All my pores are belching petrificated globs and stenches. Making love to a fat woman in New York. I lifted layer after layer of sagging bulges. Pudges sacks. Slack fat. Each skin crease encrusted. Navel. Pubic smear. A cockroach crouched on the crater of the volcano. She pissed through his hind legs, and only he knew the secret beauty of the lard-walled vagina glistening and gurgling beneath his shell-like penis. March 21st, 1962. North Carolina. I'm hiding. No one knows I'm back. I stay in bed all day. I'm weak. And play with grass all night. I've sacrificed my cane crop for beauty. It is morning and I have arisen to produce a few godlike tremors in this our universe before collapsing into a trance-like coma from the sheer brute energy released by such a fragile, delicate frame as the one in which I am encased and imprisoned. No one can have me now. I ate so much candy in New York that instead of breaking out in pimples, I have finally made the ultimate candy scene. That is to say that God has seen fit to transform me into a gigantic pimple. And if you squeeze the cheeks of my ass, a big worm of pus fires across the room. And the trick is to try and light it without getting your hand torn off. Sophie is finally acknowledging my genius, and wishes to work and support me while I pursue the unknown. This is to say I would be allowed to sit in a room, and create music, and tea high and write pornography, and paint splotches. I am almost immobile these days. Sophie manages to do quite well without me. Such as making wood and taking me potty. All I've managed to do since I got home was plant a few weed seeds. My castle is crumbling. Last night I dreamt of cookies.